Hi everyone, welcome to Ansible Automation with Chris. My name's Chris Norville and I'm an Ansible Specialist Solutions Architect at Red Hat, which means I do Ansible all day, every day. Thanks for dropping by. Today we're going to do a fun little demo using some AI along with the Ansible Automation platform to remediate an issue that's gone wrong in our environment. This demo will illustrate how we can leverage AI and AIOps into a real-world, art of the possible use case. We will be using all facets of the AAP platform to include event-driven Ansible, playbooks, workflows, and we're going to integrate RHEL-Ai and Ansible Lightspeed to help us analyze and ultimately remediate our issue. Now again, this is an art of the possible demo. Obviously, I'm working in a test environment under controlled conditions. So let's take a quick look at our reference architecture and get started. Okay, so here we have our reference architecture for our demo. So right here in the left-hand corner, we have Node 1. Now, Node 1 is what we are worried about. Node 1 is our revenue stream. It is our business. It is, if something happens there, something we need to act on it. So we have FileBeat, which is a process that's monitoring the Apache logs. In this case, again, just a simple web server. And if it detects an error, it's going to send a Kafka message, which is a pub sub message, up to event-driven Ansible. Event-driven Ansible is going to interrogate the message and see if it needs to be acted on. And then if it needs to be acted on, it's going to kick off a playbook to make sure that, okay, we are having a problem on Node 1. And it's going to send the logs over to RHEL-Ai, to Red Hat AI, and it's going to ask Red Hat AI, please interpret these logs for me. What should I do? What do they mean? Red Hat AI will come back and say, based on the logs you've given me, this is the problem, and this is how you should fix it. And then we're going to note that up in our Mattermost. In this case, it's Mattermost, but think ServiceNow, think Jira, think Slack, or it's something how we can log it, how we can our ticketing system, how we can log and enrich our our information. And then after that, we can ask Ansible Lightspeed to craft us a playbook to remediate the issue. So again, Node 1 is what we're worried about. Node 1 is what that has to be remediated to get our business back up and running. All right, so this is the first part of the demo to where we're going to go over our basically looking at our stage here, and we're going to break our HTTP server, and then we're going to run a remediation. Right here you can see I've got the Ansible Automation platform. I have a rulebook activation running. I've got my templates right here. I have my Mattermost town square. This is our, we're kind of substituting this in for your ServiceNow, your Jira, whatever ticketing system you use. And I've got my RHEL-Ai right here, and I've got my Node 1, which is my what I'm worried about here. So just to make sure that I'm dealing with a LLM, I'm like, when is the next full moon? In March 2026, and it's like, okay, so I'm dealing with an intelligent LLM here. I can actually curl my local host here, and I get stuff back, and I can even do a system CTL status HTTPD, and my web server is running. So if I go to my Ansible Automation platform, again, I do have a rulebook activation right here that is running a rulebook right here. This is up in GitHub. But what it's going to do is when it receives an event, it's going to interrogate the event. And if it contains a certain expression, then it's going to call the AI Insights Lightspeed prompt generation, which is in our, which is a workflow in our AAP. So if we look at the visualizer here, what's going to happen is when EDA catches that event, it's going to actually go out and then make sure that we are indeed broken. And if it's we are broken, then it's going to send the logs over to RHEL-Ai. RHEL-Ai is going to analyze the incident, and it's going to log up in the Mattermost the logs, and also it's going to what we've received from RHEL-Ai to remediate the issue, and then it's going to build us a template for our next section where we actually go into the remediation. So what I'm going to do now is, you can see right here our rulebook activations have 7 fire counts. That's from some previous runs, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to break Apache. I'm going to run this job right here, and it's going to actually go out there and it's going to break Apache. So if I go to my bastion right here, it's probably going to be broken here in a second, and I can do a curl localhost. Let's see. Okay, so all right. Okay, so it started. So we should be done now. The fire count's still at 7. If I go back here, I'm now broken. So if I go back, I should have my fire count has increased, and I should have some automation running. So now it's going through the workflow. It's running this AI Insights Lightspeed prompt generation. It's going through the nodes in there, which are actually Ansible playbooks. Right now, at this point in time, RHEL-Ai is actually analyzing the incident, and we have shipped the logs to RHEL-Ai and says, please analyze this for us and give us some feedback on how we can remediate this issue. So if we actually go in here, you can see it talking. And okay, so there's our prompt, our root cause analysis prompt. So okay, so we've done that, and we're moving on to, it's going to notify Mattermost. So let's go up into our Mattermost. It may not be done yet. And now it's building our job template. So okay, let's go into Mattermost. And there's our jobs right here. These are the logs that we got from FileBeat that we sent up to RHEL-Ai. RHEL-Ai looked at these logs and said, okay, here's, according to what you sent me, you have an invalid directive in your HTTP server configuration that you need to remediate. And it gives us a step-by-step remediation plan on what we need to do. So then it crafted us a remediation workflow using a survey. So if we go up in here, the prompts that we see in that survey. So if I launch that job, I'll be asked, and we're going to do that in the next section, the prompts that we're going to ask Lightspeed to remediate, to generate a remediation playbook for us. Okay, so in our previous workflow that we just ran, the last part of that crafted us a template that we're going to be starting to use for our remediation workflow, and it built us a nice little survey in here. So what it says when we kick off the remediation workflow, it's got a prompt to create the remediation playbook that we've said, okay, we're going to ask Ansible Lightspeed to write us a playbook, and we're going to say for all hosts, use become true, remove the line that contains invalid directive here from HTTP comp the configuration and restart HTTPD. And then this is what's coming from RHEL-Ai. Check Apache configuration file for an invalid directive. So this is where we would be crafting our prompts to send to Lightspeed. And then we were going to run our workflow. Now our workflow is we're going to ask Lightspeed, our Ansible Lightspeed, which is another LLM, to craft us an Ansible playbook for remediation. Once that's done, we are going to commit that fix to our GitHub. In this case, it's Git.ea, but just think GitHub. We're going to commit it up to our source control system, and then we're going to sync our project so we get the latest and greatest playbook, and then it's going to build the template using that playbook that was generated by Ansible Lightspeed. Now, we're not going to run it. We're actually going to have a human go in there, me, and go and decide whether we're going to run it or not. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to run this workflow, and it's going to say, okay, these are my prompts, and I'm going to go, okay, let's go ahead and run this. So right now what it's going to do is it's asking Ansible Lightspeed, please craft me a playbook to remediate the problem that I'm having on node 1 based off the information that I got from RHEL-Ai. It did that. Now it's going to commit the fix to our source control. It's committing our fix to source control. It's syncing the project right now. So, and then it's going to build us a template. So if we go up to our Git.ea, we have a playbook up there that was crafted by, that was generated by Ansible Lightspeed. Let's see what it does here. Now, let's see. It uses a line and file module to do a regex to replace an invalid directive, basically to take that line out and restart HTTP. And if I go to my Ansible automation, I should have a build template. I've got a build template, and I've got my execute the HTTP remediation, and it's a template that's going to use that Lightspeed response that we just saw up in GitEA. So what I can do now is I can go back here and I can make sure that I'm still broken here. I still cannot get to my, and you know, this is just a web server, a simple illustration. This could be your database. This could be your CRM system. You know, anything that makes your life miserable, just think about it. I'm sure it's not hard to do. But in this case, we're going to use our web server. What am I doing? And it is still down. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my AAP, and I'm going to remediate this. Now this is where I, the human, has decided that, okay, I'm happy with what Lightspeed gave me. I don't see any danger to it. It should work, and I'm going to launch the template. And I'm going to go ahead and add in node 1. And then it is going out there to node 1 in the Apache configuration, and it's making those changes. And it's successful. So now if I go back to my node 1, I should we're up and running. I can now curl my local host. So yeah, and we're back to normal. We're back to normal, and there was very little input as far as like, as a human, like what happened, what do I need to do to fix it. It was all there for me when I came on the scene. Let's say a lot of the stuff breaks at 3 o'clock in the morning. So a lot of the pre-work was already done for me before I even logged in to do some triage. So there you have it. What we were able to do in this demo was we were able to use RHEL-Ai and Ansible Lightspeed, which is another LLM, to identify and remediate a problem that we had in our environment. Now, obviously, this is not for production use, and this is more so art of the possible, but we were able to integrate AI into our automation platform to do a lot of pre-work for us and work that we, as an admin, didn't have to do. So, I hope you found this informative, and happy automating.